Hey everybody, again, welcome back. I want to speak with you about Blackboard and how to navigate the course. There are some important things that we need to look at, such as the syllabus. Announcements are really important, and where we'll spend a lot of our time is in the discussion board. So I want to make sure that you are well aware of how to manage that and how to get to things. So I'm going to walk us through at least the first week of Blackboard for the business practices class. Okay, so here we have Blackboard, and I've already logged in, so you'll see that I have lots of different courses here, but I'm specifically going to be looking at the Summer 2013 Business Practices course. So I click on that course, and you will see some important announcements. The first announcement is welcoming you to the course. You want to read this fully. It does mention testing and the fact that you need to send me your link to testing. I believe it says that. If not, I just sent an email out a while back. How you find testing is you would go to My Blackboard. You would go to Testing Site Info, which is over here on the left-hand side. And then you would scroll down and you would choose your campus. I'm in Central Indiana, so I would choose that one. And then you can specify which testing center at your campus or at your region you would like to test at. You need to send me a message through Blackboard Messages. And how you do that is, let me go back to Blackboard and go back to Business Practices. To send me a message specifying which testing center you would like to be testing at, you go to Communication and Tools, which is over here in the far left, third one up from the bottom of the green tabs. And you would choose Messages. So you want to click on Messages. Now mine may look a little different than yours. Looks like I already have two messages. You would hit Create Message right here. Click on Create Message. And then you can click the To button and you can choose me, the instructor, and click on that arrow. Now there may be an easier way for you. It may automatically just have message the instructor. In the subject, I would like you to put my preferred testing site and place the region, so Indianapolis. And oops, I did not want to do that, but I will say hello. I would prefer, please spell correctly, to test at the Central Indianapolis downtown campus. And if you'd like to put location, go ahead and put that in there. And then sign off with your name and send that to me. Now, in here you do have, I believe, some spell check right here where it says ABC. Please spell check your stuff. That's the very least you can do. Now, it won't catch grammar, but at least it will catch spelling. Now, it has no errors at the moment. And then when you're done, now you can upload an attachment if you're having problems with something or want me to see something. You can upload an attachment by clicking on Browse, and then you would find the attachment wherever you've placed it on your desktop or your flash drive. And I'm going to now hit Submit, and it's going to send me a message. I just sent myself a message. Now, a couple of you have probably already sent me messages. Looks like Brittany and Christine. Thank you very much. And I'm going to delete this one. But I have two of you who have sent me your testing site location, so thank you very much. The rest of you still need to do that. Okay, back to the announcements here. Now, I clicked on announcements over here on the left-hand side. You want to fully read this first announcement. It talks about how to get to the syllabus and stuff, and discussion and things like that. The second announcement was posted letting you know that class session 1 was available at noon today, and it also mentions that you needed to look for the announcement under this one. Now, I always title my announcement the week that we're in and the date, and announcements for each week plus all course materials will be available by noon on Mondays unless otherwise specified. Now, I do not know why the formatting has underlined everything. That's not really how I like to format things, but it's something a little glitchy in Blackboard. But in the announcement, you'll have some general information, kind of an overview of what we're doing. So 1 is familiarizing yourself with the course. 2 is the online open book quiz. It mentions what chapters, when it's due. It also mentions that not having a book is not an excuse for not having quizzes done. Discussion board, session 1 introductions. This is really important. Now, this is not the full instructions. These are not the full instructions for this. So you want to actually click on the link that's at the bottom of the announcement, and it will take you to this week's session. Now, in this week's session, I do have a video introducing you to a little bit of generalities of the class. You have a Chapter 1 quiz. Let me go back to announcement, make sure I didn't accidentally miss putting a second quiz in here. Chapters 1 and 2. I need to upload Chapter 2. And I'll do that shortly. Don't worry. I'm not going to record that, though. But you'll want to complete Chapters 1 and 2, which Chapter 2 will be uploaded soon. How you do the quiz, click on the quiz, you click on it, the underlying link there, you hit begin, and you start the quiz. Okay, most of this is true-false. If you fill in the blank, we've simplified this quite a bit. It used to be all essay questions, so count your lucky stars that you are not in a past business practices class. All essay questions, and nobody liked it. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to announcements and leave that page. Now, if you just wanted to go immediately to class sessions, you could go over here to class sessions, and I do have things separated out by sessions, weeks 1 through 4. These folders, you can't see them, but you will be able to see this one. I'm in the editing mode, so I can see all sorts of stuff you cannot. And here's session 1. And again, don't worry, session 2 is not available until next week at noon, so even though I see it, you may not see it. Your discussion board introduction. This is really important. This is a 40-point. Introduction discussion board. I also have things to think about for next week, so that you can start working ahead. I know this being an 8-week summer session where we're cramming 16 weeks into this 8 weeks. It's kind of nice to know a little bit of a look ahead. So, you know, I don't have the full instructions out here, but you want to start thinking. Brainstorming is extremely important, so make sure you're start brainstorming. Now, I do have specific instructions next week on what is required for brainstorming, but just start thinking. As far as the discussion board, the way I've got these managed, you could either go over here to discussions and find the first discussion by clicking on it and then creating a thread. Oh, it looks like Jeremy Weddle has already started his thread. Thank you, Jeremy. I also have my introduction here. But how you create a thread, well, let me show you another way to get to discussions. Now, if you go to the announcements, I try to make this as clean as possible so you don't have to go jumping all over the place. So this week's announcement, where it says click below, in this week's course materials, this is a direct link to that discussion board number 1. Now, you do want to read. Reading comprehension is so important. If you guys have tested really low on reading comprehension, you may want to reconsider taking this online class or getting some help in regards to reading comprehension, because it's so important that you understand what we're asking for here. But first you would, where it says click on the underlying link above, this one right here, but it says do this after you read the detailed instructions below. So it discusses how to click on forums and create your threads, what questions I would like you to answer in the discussion to facilitate discussion and let us know a little bit more about you. Also, it asks that you please attach a photo with your introduction. And then the introduction, which is due June 12th at 11:55. By Friday, June 14th, 11:55, I would like you to reply to all of the students in the class. This is one of the few, if not the only time, that you will be required to reply to all student users. For the rest of the semester after this discussion, you will only be required to reply to 4 or 5 of your peers. And we're not broken down into groups. We're just going to reply to 4 or 5 of your peers to post. Okay, so let's say I wanted to participate in this discussion. I click on discussion board number 1, introduction, the underline. I click on create thread, and I just merely type a subject. Oops. And then I input some of the answers to the questions to give my, give yourself, give us a little bit of an introduction of who you are. If you are a person who appreciates your privacy, you can limit what you put in there. If you want to have your image show up like mine did, you can click on this little picture. It looks like a landscape, barely can tell what it is, and you can add the image here by browsing your computer and finding the image. Okay, so that's how I got mine to work. Once you're finished, you can hit submit, and it will automatically put it into, now I'm going to cancel this, but it'll automatically put it into the discussion board. So my introduction is here, and basically you would scroll down and you would read my introduction. I also have a video introduction. Here's a photo, and this is also the PS is discussing how I got that photo in there by clicking on the little landscape thing. Now the landscape thing is not, or not landscape, the image thing, it's not here because I've already posted this. Now if you mess something up and you need to add something to your post, you don't need to make a new post. Please do not make multiple posts. You can click the edit button. Right here is an edit button. And if you click on edit, what it will do is it will go back to the window where you're kind of like what we had before. Here I can add an image, I can modify text, I can attach files, and we will be attaching files later. So this is all kind of one-stop shopping. But a lot of people don't realize they can edit their post by clicking this edit button, and they end up posting way too many times. Okay, so make sure you have a real good understanding of how to manage this. Okay, since I didn't edit the post, I'm just going to go back to discussions for a second and click on that discussion board. Okay, so that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Now, if you want to respond to someone, like here's Jeremy. Let's say I wanted to respond to Jeremy after I read his information. Wow, Jeremy's got a really cool artistic photo on his piece. So he obviously is a photography student. I think he's doing a little bit more some of the fine art photography lately, but I'll read more about him. But what I would do is once I read his information, I would reply by clicking on the reply button. Okay, and then I can type in this field below information to Jeremy. So I won't submit this, but I wanted you to see how you would post the message. Now when I'm finished, I would hit submit, and you will see that I have responded to Jeremy Weddle's post. Okay, now I am actually going to delete that. Sorry, Jeremy, it just doesn't have much substance. I don't even know if I can delete it. Oh yeah, I can. Here we go. And if you, I believe I don't think you can delete your posts, but you can edit them. Again, if I wanted to edit this and add to it, I would hit edit, but for now I'm just going to delete it. So even though, Jeremy, I'm glad to have you in class, I am deleting this so I can give you a message with more substance. Okay, so that is discussion in a nutshell. This is where you'll be spending most of your time, is in the discussion board. And how they're graded. 30 points is the maximum score you'll receive for your initial thread, and then a total of 10 points is earned for the responses to your peers. So if you don't respond to all your peers, then that 10 points will go down based off the percentage of lack of responses. Okay, so make sure that you answer these questions. Jeremy, I'm not sure, I didn't read it and see if that you did, but make sure you answer those questions. He did attach the photo, and so I think that's pretty good in a nutshell. It does say that you, by the way, words matter in this field of web graphics, print graphics, and photography. Words matter in business. You don't want to look like you're less than educated. So I do grade down for poor grammar, spelling, that kind of stuff. So it needs to be very, very businesslike. Also, constructive feedback to your peers is extremely important. Short phrases like, I like it, or that's neat, or cool, cool dude, you know, that kind of stuff. Those don't have much substance. So you need to make sure that you go to your resources. If you have not ever critiqued someone, click on resources and you will see that there is a critique guide. Okay? Now, when you're speaking about your work, you also use this. So if you're trying to explain to somebody what your concept is and how you developed your design, this verbiage is crucial for both explaining your work and also for critiquing work. Excuse me, I don't have that hooked up. There we go. So please visit the critique guide. Use this. I don't want to see a bunch of stuff that's just half-baked, no substance, no useful feedback, just, you being a cheerleader for everyone, but yet not really providing any critique of benefit to anybody. So this is a sharing experience. I really want you guys to, I don't want you to tear each other up. There's etiquette here, but I do want you to provide honest feedback and an honest critique with helpful responses. Okay, so this will help you in that guide. Now I also have, we'll be also doing a logo design. So here I have something that's a link. It says what's a good logo, what makes a good logo. If you can't find this, you can always copy and paste the URL into the web browser. And this is just a website that discusses some simple principles on logo design. Okay, so for those of you guys who have never designed a logo before, you really probably want to look at some of the principles of developing a logo. We've seen some not so great logos designed in this class because, quite frankly, some web developers want to do backend and not design, and photographers study photography, not design for a reason, I assume, but still you want to produce a marketable, professional image. So I know for some of you guys, developing a logo will be a big challenge, but maybe some sort of resource like this will help you. Okay? Now let me get back to where we were. There we go. Now, in addition, it does mention that you want to click on the Start Here area. The Start Here area has the syllabus, talks about getting your computer ready, helps if you need help with blackboarding technologies, there's also that. So step 1 is syllabus critique and grading information. There is the syllabus. Here is the required book. This is how the course is graded. It is weighted. So 20% of the overall grade is for quizzes, 25% is for tests or exams, and 55% of the grade is the discussion board materials. The majority of your grade is discussion board. The grade scale for the Viscom Indianapolis department is as follows. And then I do have some rules for critique as far as etiquette goes. So you want to go ahead and maybe look at that. And also, if you're not sure how to communicate online, here's an online communication etiquette reference. So you want to make sure that you have professional and appropriate communication with both faculty and peers. Okay, tips for success is nice. Course policies and procedures is an important place to go. This talks about deadlines, what's excused, what's not excused, when you can drop the class without getting a bad grade, how to make up work, what is acceptable for making up, and so on. So you definitely want to take some time and look through the course policies and procedures. it's really important that everything is working for you. Not having a working computer is not an excuse for late work, so you want to make sure that you are aware. Okay? If you need to get a hold of me, you want to go to Instructor, which is over here, and this gives you an image of who I look like. And when I'm in office, I will try to do some online office hours. I just got to figure it out through Wimba Pronto. Most of the time it's not a big deal for this class, but I will try to figure out that, and I'll let you guys know when I have that figured out. Okay, grades. My grades, mine will give me an error because I'm not a student, but that's where you find your grades. And I think I've covered most everything that's really, really important. So I hope that wasn't too fast. Again, make sure you go to Communication and Tools and message me with the testing site preference that you would like to test at. Again, that was through this link. You have to scroll down and find your campus. Okay? Thank you, and I look forward to seeing where you're going to test. I look forward to working with you this semester, and hopefully this will be a great experience for you. Thanks, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.